Greetings everybody. First boss walkthrough for Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Rabbid Kong. So you don't have a ton of choice for which characters you bring into this boss fight, but I highly recommend bringing Luigi and Rabbid Peach as your two alternative players. Luigi has incredible range with his sniper rifle, and Rabbid Peach has all her healing abilities. That is Rabbid Peach a she? I just realized, I just assumed it was a she, but it is just, the Rabbid is just wearing a wig, like all the other ones, right? So is it he or she? Who knows? Anyway, so the objective, this boss is in 3 stages. Anytime the boss changes sides, he's gonna spawn a couple extra evil Rabbid minions to make it more difficult for you. Focus on taking them out first, and when you can, getting behind the large gray blocks that are unbreakable. It's important to remember that. I put Luigi a little bit closer just for this round, not behind the further away one because I knew he would be out of range to get a shot in on Rabbid Kong or the other minions for this fight, or for this turn. So, first, like I said, take out the ads. Kill them, and then you need to move one of your characters. I would recommend anybody but Luigi to that banana switch, I guess, that's immediately in front of Rabbid Kong. If you shoot him and you haven't stepped on that switch, he will just eat a banana and heal himself. So it's impossible to kill him. And I would highly recommend, you know, if you have the opportunity to use Rabbid Peach with her damage reducing ability before you go on the pressure plate, I guess you can call it, you won't take any extra damage. So you can see there, kind of randomly, it seems like, between turns, Rabbid Kong will stomp the ground and push everybody back, and unless you're behind one of those large unbreakable pillars, then you will actually not be able, or then you will not get pushed back. And the damage from the pushback isn't as important as the position that you lose for that. So here we go, you step on the first switch, drops all the bananas, he gets all angry, and unfortunately you cannot use the hammer when you're in close range to this guy. So on this fight, oh, I should also mention that I end up getting a perfect score, a perfect rating for this round. And if you can't get the perfect rating on your first attempt, now this is my first attempt. Okay, one thought at a time. This is my first attempt at this fight, and I got a perfect rating. And oh no. And if you don't get a perfect rating, don't sweat it. It's very easy to replay these missions after your characters are leveled up quite a bit, and the enemies do not scale in difficulty the further you go along in the match, or the further you go along in the game. So you can come back, like right now, Mario's doing 30 to 40 damage with his blaster. That's nothing. Like, I think I'm up to 300, 400 damage with each shot. Towards the end of the game. So, I mean, it's a nice challenge to get perfect the first time, but not required by any means. This is just more of a guide for getting, like, I do get perfect, but this is more of a guide for just effectively getting through the boss fight your first time that you play it. And same thing going forward for my other boss videos as well. It's more about getting through your first time. So I put Mario where I knew. So if you think of it, if you think of Rabbid Kong as being in the northern quadrant right now, he's next going to move to the west, and then finally going to move to the east. So I put Mario in a place that is currently exposed to Rabbid Kong, because I know that after he moves, after I take my next shot, because he's so low on health, that Mario will actually be protected from the next shockwave after he jumps and moves. So Rabbid Peach actually is exposed at this point Luigi was in the good spot, but Rabbid Peach got moved back a little bit. So unfortunately, you can't always protect every single one of your characters, but with the healing skills that you have at this point, with Rabbid Peach, you know, it's not too hard to at least keep most of your team in tip-top shape. So to get a perfect rating on this, you can't have any of your teammates get knocked out, and I believe it's 6 turns. No, is it 6 turns? That seems really short. Maybe it's 8 turns. I should have looked it up. Sorry about that. To complete the boss in 8 turns to get the perfect rating. It's not too hard. Using Luigi's itchy feet can be very helpful for moving from cover to cover and for hitting those the banana switches quickly and then getting back to cover. So the Steely Stare, Luigi's Steely Stare, and Mario's Hero Sight, the motion activated abilities that shoot people that move, they will not activate on the boss. So keep that in mind. They will only activate and shoot the ads that are running around, the extra enemies that spawn. Which, like I was saying before, after Rabbid Kong moves every single time, shoot the other enemies first, take them out first, and then hit the switch, and then start shooting him. It's the smartest, fastest way to do it. It's the most effective and efficient way to do it. And if you don't kill those enemies, and you do, like, let's say you leave one of them behind, he's just kind of in a corner or something like that, and Rabbid Kong moves, 2 more enemies will spawn. It's not like the next wave of enemies is gated and contingent upon completing or killing all of the other extra enemies, the ads that are running around. And also, you will take a little bit of damage when you stand on the banana switch. Like I was saying before, it doesn't do a ton of damage, so it's not the worst thing in the world when you get hit by it, but it is important to just remember that you will take damage, so don't put one of your teammates up there that could potentially die if he's very low on health or something like that for running on the switch. So right now in this turn, I'm just kind of deciding what I want to do with Luigi. Focusing down the extra guys, like I was saying. All my Luigi and Mario are kind of exposed at this point, so I'm just planning on them taking damage. I'm not sure why I moved Luigi to where I did, and yeah, that was an odd decision on my part. You know, it's weird. I'm doing this voiceover after I've beaten the entire game, and I can tell how much better I've actually become at this game and how much quicker I've become at making move decisions and like using, and how much more efficient I've become at using all of the skills correctly and quickly, and you know, not like kind of pausing to think over all the different options that I have on every single turn. So I'm moving Rabbid Peach in position to at least get a shot on this guy. I presume that I was thinking that I'm gonna use that damage debuff, like that shield that she's got, because she's in a very exposed place right now. I don't know why I moved Luigi there. Oh, I moved Luigi there so that he's got full access to the shot on that other Rabbid. Just take him out right there. So even though Luigi's on the wrong spot, I was prioritizing taking out the extra Rabbids instead of Rabbid Kong. And you know, I haven't been able to figure out if there's actually a pattern to how often he slams. It seems to be random. I don't know. That would be actually very interesting to know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's attached to doing X amount of damage to him on a turn before he gets all angry and then slams the ground again. Yep, there it goes. Oh, look at that. You know what? It didn't push Luigi back. I just noticed that there. That's interesting. So he wasn't directly behind the block. He was on the side of it, away from Rabbid Kong, and he did not get pushed back. That's really interesting. So keep that in mind for when you're playing this, that on the outside edge of those, let's call them steel pieces of cover, steel pieces of full cover, he actually does not get pushed back. Huh, okay. That is interesting. So he can just stay right there. I don't think I even noticed that at the time of the recording. So the piece of cover to the left of where Mario is right now actually would have been safe from the pushback attack as well. Man, that would have made it a lot easier. Huh, okay, so Rabbid Kong has moved to the eastern side. It's the same thing over again. Relatively straightforward boss battle. There's no... the future boss battles will be... they all follow a similar format in that they all have 3 stages. You know, very classic video game style, right? This boss, however, doesn't really change very much from stage to stage, and later on, the bosses do end up changing their mechanics quite a bit from stage to stage. So that is too far away for Luigi to get a shot in. So what I should do there is use the little go-kart to attack him, because I know that it's going to take, or RC car, or whatever it's called that Luigi has, and because I know that it's going to take at least 2 turns to get to Rabbid Kong from as far away as Luigi is, and in that time I will have been able to hit the switch. So I think I end up passing the turn here. Man, I feel like I'm analyzing, like reading chess in the newspaper or something like that, because I just have this ability to watch my replay and see all the mistakes that I'm making. And, I mean, there's obviously no timer in this game, so I have no excuse for the mistakes that I'm making, other than learning over time to be a better Mario and Rabbids player. And now that I'm kind of reflecting on that, I think that's kind of fascinating to see myself improve over 30, 40 hours of playing the game, how much better of a player I have actually become. So these thwompers, I believe they're called, they only charge you if you shoot them with or if you do weapon damage. Let me be clear about that. If you do hammer damage, or if you do the RC car damage, or you shoot them, they will then charge you. A really effective combo is to use the Overwatch ability with Mario or Luigi, or Peach or Yoshi eventually when you get them, and then shoot them, because you will then get the reaction shot in addition to the initial shot. And they move quite a bit. If you're not sure if you're within range of one of these guys, of their, let's call it a reaction move, because when you shoot them, they charge you. They get their reaction move. You can press, I believe it's X, to bring up the Tacticam, and the if you highlight the enemy, it will then show you the blue grid of how far they can actually move. So I'm realizing right now that I very easily could have killed this guy with Mario right there instead of having to use Peach's turn, which would have been smart because I would have been able to use Mario's reaction ability. So if I used Mario's reaction ability there and then shot him, I would have killed that guy in that one turn, which would have been very nice. Oh, and 53 is not even enough damage to do it there. Oh, but I did do what I was talking about. It's very strange watching myself think. I can see my thought process happening, and it's frustrating and fascinating at the same time. It's, you know, in a weird way, I'm watching myself think in this game more than any other game that I've really made a guide for, because this game is so strategic and so, I don't want to say slow-paced, but because it's turn-based, it's very easy to kind of dissect my moves and really analyze every single move that I've done and seen how I could have done it slightly better or worse. So, we hit the 3rd banana switch. It's basically just piling on damage from this point on, not too difficult. He's going to be out of the range of Luigi's shot from there, just barely. I wonder if upgrading to a new gun would have actually made it... when you're buying different guns for different characters, different guns actually have different range characteristics. So, and they do improve as you get further along in the game. So I'm curious, reflecting on this now, if buying a better gun for Luigi would have, because I was within 1 square of being able to attack Rabbid Kong from the far side of the arena. I'm wondering if a better gun would have actually allowed me to do that. If I bought the best gun or something like that with Luigi. Anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the rest of my boss walkthrough videos for Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Game on.